Hi guys, I just wanted to show you this motorcycle ramp which I've recently made for myself. I went to a motorcycle show and I saw similar ramps and I thought I could probably make one of those for myself because they was pretty expensive. So there it is. It puts the bike up to a height of 2 foot or 600mm to its maximum height off these legs, which leaves it at quite a nice work height to stand at for cleaning, maintenance and what have you. Yeah, it's got the dirt bike on it at the moment, which only weighs about 65 kilograms, so that's not too much, but it does take my bigger Kawasaki 650 on these little legs, which they're trailer legs. I'll put links to these in the description, and they do hold quite a few kilos, so there's nothing to be worried about with say 200 kilograms of Kawasaki on those. And there's the Kawasaki. It's a Kawasaki ER6N 2014, which, as I said, it goes on absolutely easily onto the ramp, no problem. It probably weighs not quite 200 kilograms, probably about 170, 180. Okay, so I'm just going to take the little dirt bike off the ramp to show you exactly how I made it. Incidentally, this is my little Beta Evo 250T, nice little Italian trials bike, and these things, if you haven't come across them before, are so capable. They go absolutely anywhere. Okay, so you want the ramp big enough but not too big. The size I come up with was 7 foot long, which I think is long enough to cope with most motorbikes' wheelbase, and 2 foot wide, which is kind of, I think, big enough but not too big, and it also will take my motorbike stands front and rear. Okay, so I'm sure you've all saw these Paddock stands before, particularly the rear ones. We've all got one of those, but this front one was particularly a good find for me, so I'd just like to show you it lifting the bike up, just to show you how good it is. There you go. Absolutely fantastic, these are, guys. I can't tell you how good they are to enable you to work on the bike. Fits underneath the, I'll just try and get that, I don't know if you can, the camera's picking it up. Fits in the hole just underneath the forks there. They come with a little set of adapters, about 6 adapters, so you can choose the right one to fit very tightly into your fork hole. Fully adjustable, absolutely fantastic for working on the front wheel. Obviously you can take the front wheel out, you can change the brakes, and clean the front wheel and tyre. Yeah, real good bit of kit. I'll put links to those in the description and everything else that I've been using. Okay, so this is the little ramp I've used. Folding ramp with handles, doesn't take up too much space. The one I always use for putting the bikes in the back of the van. Something I always do, I pop a little bolt in the hole which I've drilled in the top of the ramp there, just to stop the ramp from sliding around when you're loading the bikes into the van or onto this ramp. Okay, so the actual legs for this ramp are trailer stabiliser props, and they really do take some weight. Well, they've got to, haven't they, for when stabilising a trailer, because they you know, they do carry some kilograms, a lot more than like the kind of 200 kilograms that I think we're going to be putting on them with a motorbike. The beauty of these is that we can set them at any level. Like if you just want to go down half length or full length, like I said, these are the full length up there is 2 foot, so that's as high as that's going to go. But yeah, just bolted onto the wood with nut and bolt. I'll show the other side and exactly how I've made the bed for the ramp. Okay, so ramp on its side, so you can see exactly how I made the ramp. I started off with this 3x2 wood, made a frame, put 3 bars across for some extra strengthening. I mean, you could go 4x2 for an extra little bit of strength, but I thought this was plenty good enough for me, plus the fact I already had it. And then the top of the ramp, I've used some 18mm ply, which is widely used in the building trade, so it's plenty strong enough for our little motorbike to go on the top. And then I finished it off by putting these little D-link type lashing hooks at 3 points down the ramp, thinking that I'd put the first one to the handlebars or front forks, middle to either foot pegs or around the seat, and then the back to the grab bars on the Kawasaki or around the swinging arm on the dirt bike or other bikes. Also, I painted the wood on the ramp with a garage floor paint. It's a mid-grey, and the first coat just got sucked in by the wood, and the second coat give it a nice, like a satin finish, quite a nice durable garage floor paint it is, easy to wipe down, and it'll just make it look nice and last a bit longer. And also I can think of some other uses for this ramp around the house and the garden. I think it will make quite a nice platform to stand on when I'm cutting some of the trees and the hedges in the garden. Another thing I thought this ramp could be useful for is just a ramp. Pretty useful for loading motorcycles into your van or a trailer, or anything you use a ramp for, really. Yeah, so what started off as an occasional motorcycle work ramp, I think is going to end up having many uses for me around the home and the garden, and it's going to come in pretty useful. It's just a really useful, convenient work table. And of course, when you're not using the ramp, you can just lean it up against the wall. It takes absolutely no room at all up, unlike some of these big heavy metal ramps. You know, they're kind of in the way, aren't they? Or I did think with these D-link hooks on the side that we've got, we could hook it to the beams in the ceiling and really get it out of the way. But yeah, takes up no room at all. Okay guys, so the cheapest DIY motorcycle ramp that you're going to find. Please give me some comments, let me know what you think, how you may have done it better, or modifications that I could make to it to make it better. And I hope it inspires some of you to go out and do the same. As I said, links to everything that I've used in the description. So thanks very much for watching guys. Please give me a little like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.